So we finally have a release date for Monster Hunter Wilds. It's coming on February 28th, 2025. It was recently announced at the Sony State of Play. And all of the excitement surrounding this game has really motivated me to make this video that I've been wanting to make for some time now about the Monster Hunter franchise in general. I hadn't tried Monster Hunter at all until somewhere in the 3DS era when I picked up Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. And I didn't know anything about the series' history, its cultural impact around the world, how popular it was. I didn't really know much. I just thought the game looked cool and decided to give it a try. I did have some fun with it, but didn't get super into it. I think I dropped that game after about maybe 8 or 10 hours, and I really never, at that time at least, I never looked deeper into it. I never looked further into Monster Hunter, why people love it. And it wasn't until the release of Monster Hunter World that the franchise really piqued my interest. And most of it was me just wanting to understand why people love this game so much, or these games so much. When I started doing more research, and I think this might have been in 2018, I was super surprised to learn how well this series sells. I think to date they've sold maybe more than 100 million copies across all of the games that they've released, and that's just crazy. Not many franchises get to that level of success. It's now in that realm of, Mario and GTA, Minecraft and Madden and other things like this. Not many franchises get to enjoy that level of success. So when I was doing my research on the franchise back in 2018, I was very surprised to find that. And that kind of just made me want to learn more about it and try to understand why people love this franchise so much. Since the release of Monster Hunter World, I've actually dived deeper into the franchise, and I've played a lot more of many of the games that have been released, at least recently. I've played a lot of Monster Hunter Rise. I played an extensive amount of Monster Hunter World. I also sunk a lot of time into Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which was, I believe, the last game in that sort of era of Monster Hunter before they went to Monster Hunter World. And I've got to say that I've had an extremely fun time sinking my teeth into all of the mechanics of all the different games and getting to know all the monsters, trying out the different weapons. The core gameplay loop of Monster Hunter is honestly one of the most engaging and fun experiences that I've had, and it's very simple at its core. You hunt a monster, you prepare for your hunt before you set out on your expedition. Once you hunt or trap the monster, you gather materials from it, and with those materials you can create better weapons and better armor, better equipment to go on and hunt bigger monsters and more deadly monsters. And this core idea, this core gameplay loop, is just something that is very fun to engage with. I think for many people that just enjoy the combat of this game can find endless amounts of fun with the Monster Hunter games because of this, because the core gameplay loop is simple, it's focused on combat, and it's focused on presenting you with harder and harder monsters to fight. And that's what I love about it. I mean, there's little to no story in these games, and that's totally fine. This is not why I play Monster Hunter personally, but I think Capcom has really been able to double down on this core gameplay loop, and they've been able to flesh it out and try new things with it. I know that Generations Ultimate is one thing, and then Monster Hunter World tried other things. Monster Hunter Rise then came after and also implemented new changes. So it looks like Capcom does vary it a little bit from title to title, but the core gameplay loop is still there, and that's the most important piece of it that I find most engaging. And I think that's why it's so popular. People just click with this sort of gameplay, and they always want to build cooler weapons and better gear and fight harder monsters. It's just something that I find so fun, and I'm kind of surprised that the first time I tried Monster Hunter back when Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate came out on 3DS, I didn't really click with it that much. I was probably not in the right frame of mind to enjoy that game at the time, but I'm very glad that I gave it another chance when Monster Hunter World came out. I'm very glad that I took the time to read up on the huge cultural impact that this game has had, not only here in the West, but in Japan. I mean, this franchise is huge in Japan. And the first time that I actually noticed this firsthand was in 2019 when I traveled to Japan for a few months for an internship, and I was able to sort of see all of the things that are popular there and get some first-hand experience with what it's like to be there and experience the pop culture. And Monster Hunter is huge. They have cafes themed after Monster Hunter. Capcom has a bar in Tokyo that has a Monster Hunter presence, among other things. They sell merchandise for this franchise all over the place, and it's just huge. And you don't see too many things like this. You don't see franchises get to this level of a Pokemon-esque level of success, and it's really cool to see how so many people click with this franchise. I find it personally super fun, and Monster Hunter Wilds I'm super excited for. This is going to be, I think, the first time that I engage with a Monster Hunter game on day one. Monster Hunter World was a little bit different because when it came out, I was kind of still skeptical. I didn't really know if that was something for me after my first experience with Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. So I did end up picking up Monster Hunter World, but it came a few months after. Monster Hunter Wilds will be my first experience with a Monster Hunter game on day one, and I'm really excited for that. We talked about Monster Hunter's success, its genius in game design and gameplay loops. We also talked about the cultural impact that this franchise has had around the world. But I think the most important thing about this franchise that I have noticed, or that has applied to me specifically, maybe for a lot of other people, is just how well this game franchise is designed for portable devices. I know that Monster Hunter World is the most successful entry in that franchise by far, and that's primarily on consoles, but I've been playing it on Steam Deck recently, and honestly, I think that's one of the best ways to experience that game, at least for me. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I truly do think that Monster Hunter World is best on the go in maybe short bursts when you can get a hunt in about 30 to 45 minutes. Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch was the first time that I experienced that game. I later bought it on PC as well, but Monster Hunter Rise on Switch was also very, very good. And of course, all the success that they've seen on the PSP, 3DS, and even on the Switch with Generations Ultimate and Rise. So I really think that Monster Hunter is a very popular franchise, also because of its portability and how well it fits in that sort of form factor. I have to admit that I still have a lot to learn about this franchise. I've played maybe a cumulative 200 hours between Generations Ultimate, Rise, World, and 4 Ultimate. So I definitely have a lot to learn still about the different eras of Monster Hunter. I eventually want to get into the older entries. But over the last year, I've been really into Monster Hunter, and I've been reading a lot about it. I've been enjoying learning about all the things that people love about it, and looking into the disagreements that they may have about which era of Monster Hunter is better and which game is the best. There's just a lot of information out there, and Monster Hunter just seems like a very attractive series in my opinion, and not just because its gameplay loop is so satisfying, but just because of how big it is. And not many people that are in my personal life really know about Monster Hunter that much. There are those that are really obsessed with it, but I mean, everybody knows what Pokemon is, everybody's heard of Grand Theft Auto, everybody's heard of Minecraft, but Monster Hunter sells at this level of success as well, and I just find it interesting that not many people in my life have heard about it or have given it a try. I just find the success of this franchise very interesting, and I wanted to make this video just sort of to share my history and personal experience with the franchise. I absolutely love it now. I'm a huge fan, and I can't wait for Monster Hunter Wilds to come out in February. I really love to know what you think about all this and what you think about Monster Hunter, if you've played all of the entries or only World. I want to sort of engage with more people about this topic and learn more about it. So anyways, guys, just a quick video today talking about Monster Hunter and its games, its allure, genius in gameplay design, and just overall level of success. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.